Alright, got this from the neighbor. At some point in time it's been left out in the rain, and the exhaust port was faced towards the sky, so you can guess the amount of rust I've had to remove from there. While doing that, I lost a pin. Anybody loses a pin, here's my biggest suggestion, my best suggestion so far. First tried a finishing nail, and they make different thicknesses, but that one was just a little too thin for my liking. Now, to find a closer fit, you can try and go through graduated set of drill bits, stick them in and out of the hole, and find you an old rusty set somewhere. They used to have these wonderful things called, I don't know if it wasn't pawn shops, but it was secondhand tool stores. Now everybody's looking at stuff online and like, oh well, it's new, such and such, so they only drop it down 80%, and then they wonder why they have to shut down their business. I'm looking at you, Mom's Tools from Fort Payne, Alabama. Y'all got greedy and then you couldn't sustain yourselves, so congratulations for pricing yourself out of business and then screwing the rest of us poor folks. Anyways, you find your size, find an old bit. Now, these things aren't made for hardened steel, but if it's a small diameter size, I promise you, see that pin? It does work. Go ahead, keep working on it. I used a die grinder to sand it down. I got real close. I wet the bit with oil so I could see a color contrast line. This bottom half has a depth that's different than the head plate. It has a different types of depth. So if you can take two of them, and then you fill the holes full of oil and you dip it inside, you pull it out, it'll be wet and you'll be able to see that line. And so you'll take two bits. This one will be a little bit less. You put your first bit in, the one you're going to cut, that'll be your longest line. Take the next bit, fill it full of oil, drop that in, that'll be another line. Then you add that line to this line and you'll get the full close to the full length or height, whatever you want to call it. Then you can notice a little bit of gap. Your eyes are good, but I really suggest feeler gauges. Little tiny manufactured shims at thousandths of an inch. But either way, you go ahead and you put that plate on there, see if there's any wobble. That tells you a lot if there's a wobble. And use your die grinder. Be very careful, don't slip. I slipped just a tiny bit. Hope I don't regret it. It's just an air compressor, it was free, so whatever. Anyways, boys, that's my suggestion. Boy.